and you've come so close. We are into the game here. Inferno to start things off. It is going to be Virtus.pro's map pick, and I believe that means that Vitality is starting on the CT side. Dean, I'm so ready.
Let's do this, Mike. I'm so hyped. Looking forward to seeing what VP can deliver. Last time we seen them on this map against Renegades, they absolutely stumped them. And YEKINDAR was just looking insane with the entry. So does he deliver again? Are we going to have, of course, Nivera deliver for Vitality, having him step in? Well, it looks like we're going to find out pretty soon, because the action is getting going immediately. Up through the apartments, Vitality, they want to swarm this A bomb site, and they are going to be finding... at the moment, only 2 players here. It's only RPK to try and hold things off. He has some help coming around from Mo. Oh, but with a smoke down, he's got to do it all on his own, and he can't even get a single frag. Smoke's down on the corner, as I said, just restricting vision, given the time now for that bomb to be planted. Interesting lurk at bottom mid. There's no one rotating banana, which is the hope, but he can still flank those mid players, and I mean, I was going to say that if he's needed, because his teammates had found success elsewhere, but a nice shot from Nivera.
The attempted retake of numbers dwindling, bodies dropping all on Nivera, and ooh, he is gone. That was over in an instant. As soon as they find contact on site, Virtus.pro just escort them to their graves. Swept away. So that is nicely done for VP. The pistol round will be claimed. Vitality on the back foot now, and it looks like they're going to be forcing in. Maybe the investment coming through. Apex led the charge on that one. Deagles aplenty. And a nade stack. I do love the nade stack for Inferno. 4 players moving towards B in general, so it looks like they're going to be trying to drop a bit of a banger onto Banana, and it's working. Damage done. A little bit of tag up. Still 2 nades here available. If those come through, this could get very dangerous very quickly. Look at that chunky damage. Oh, Buster's about limping through this. They haven't even seen a player yet, and the bodies are dropping, and now ZywOo, he comes away with 2. The nade finds 1, the Deagle the next. Oh, this is risky now. Fortunately for them, it was one of the low HP players, but jame is still here. He is still very vulnerable, and VP are in massive danger of giving up this second round.
Yeah, without really getting a chance to do anything. Just naded into oblivion over on Banana, and, well, it's ironically their vitals that are looking a little bit low at this point. SANJI, he's up there on the health. He's got the best weapon at the moment in play as well with that Galil. But in order to actually salvage this, they just really need Vitality to make mistakes. And there's no need for them to. In this 5-on-3, I was going to say they shouldn't really be peeking and giving chances over. Apex does take a little bit of a gander in towards Banana there, just peeking from the spawn, and, well, is punished for it. But there was already the 3rd player rotating over, and, well, they've even gone ahead and sent RPK over also, so there's 3 over on this side of the map. Fully entrusted Nivera alone, I believe that is on the A-bomb site, and I'm good with that. It looks like it is the correct decision as well to be made. Smoke in towards construction or in towards coffins, and let's see now, can they actually hold this off? Again, the weapons do still at least favor the T side, but no, that doesn't seem to matter. The Deagles hold them in the crossfire. It's 1 for each of those B defenders, and, well, Vitality, they make it work with the nades purchase, with the pistols and Kevlar. They steal that round away from VP and now put them in a very awkward spot where, it's VP who look at the double eco.
That was the perfect call from Vitality. Absolute perfect call. I mean, they come in with the nade stack, but then all of them are committed towards Banana, which tells me that they had such a read on exactly what Virtus.pro wanted to do in that second round, exactly what they expected from them on that second round of Inferno off of a pistol win. Because often what you'll see teams do is you'll see teams put 2 of the nades towards A, 2 to 3 of the nades towards B, throw them down mid and Banana at the same time, trying to just spread the damage. But no, Vitality were very intentional. 2 go down Banana initially, 2 are held on Banana for the next salvo. You get so much damage off of it. They even had 1 to spare on Nivera through that round where he comes in late with it. So, love it. Just love it. The force bite comes back in for VP, and they realize that maybe some of their tendencies have gotten a bit predictable. Can't let that happen. SANJI gets collected towards top mid. Really not a lot of ground needs to be given up by Vitality either. They just fall back in towards the traditional arch lane hold. And while a little bit of space will be given over by VP, it's nothing substantial. Meanwhile, there's deep log control on Banana. So much space held. ZywOo in the corner with an MP5. That limits all of the map control. If they come back to fight for this, they are going to have an absolute struggle with the hold from Car and then the swing from ZywOo. The smoke goes out. They should know he's here. They might want to punish this, but do they have the utility to do so? They do actually have flashes. Could come in and try and catch the player off guard, but at least for the moment, they're going to wait out the smoke.
Yeah, basically having to for now. There is only the one player on the on Banana itself. They've actually sent, I believe, Apex back in towards the bomb site. I don't even think he has a flash, so I thought initially he was going to be playing for the pop flash over for his teammate. But no, ZywOo just wanting to find that early info. Backs away a flash to try and keep them at bay. And, well, look at the time, Mike. They've left this very, very late. A single kill comes in, and this is done. Honestly, at this point, I don't even think they really have time. Look, he has to straight up stick it. They need to try and cover off that planter, and he gets it. Okay, easy money. I was not expecting them to get anywhere near a bomb plant. An extra $800 each, at least. I mean, they're not buying her in the next round anyway, because they didn't do damage, so they couldn't really make it worthwhile. But, yeah, still a lot more from that round than they were looking to get.
Yeah, honestly, the bomb plant was a gift. I thought ZywOo would have had that locked down, lock and key. But hey, for VP, at least it seems like they've got a spy behind enemy lines. They've got good old Undefined checking out the CT spawn for him. MVP. Always available. But we got some aggression coming through. Again, deep banana control looking to be sought. It's just pistols on the other side, and this time they've got no armor, they've got no utility, they've really got nothing. A couple flashbangs, and that's it. So set up some peeks with the pistols, try and catch a player off guard, maybe steal the rifle. ZywOo, again, is going to take the deep log pile control, so now they should have a pretty good read on that. Maybe, just maybe. They didn't see much of it before it was given up back towards site, but it is so much map control available for Vitality. Looks like they're going to go for a burst on towards A. Could maybe overwhelm the Arch player. And then if you catch that player, a quick headshot to Nivera with this deagle, suddenly you've got options. You can head towards A, you can split B, you can do whatever you want, but Nivera plays it nicely. Falls right back off with a flashbang. Isn't able to line up that kill just yet. Damage done. Has to be careful not to get suckered in. A teammate will flash for him, and there's the kill. A follow-up as well. The young gun is doing well here. Doesn't seem like they're going to be able to get much going here. Nivera continuing to collect bodies. He's on pace for the ace, down to 6 points of health, and Apex will finish off the last. But a nice anti-eco 4K here for Nivera. And he's out to a nice early scoreline. 6-1-1. Feels good through 4 rounds.
Yeah, no, pretty good start, as you said. It is early, so we won't really be able to start judging the stats of anyone until we get into those gun rounds, but that's what we're finding now. Bit unfortunate there, VP had 3 of the players actually pretty low. If they could have finished even 1 or 2 of them, it would have made kind of the pistols they bought more worthwhile, but it's not a big deal. As we had said, the money looking good now. They've got the rifles across the board, and it looks like they want to go back over towards Banana, at least to try and beat that initial smoke towards the bottom. Buster actually taking a lot of nade damage for his efforts, and we might even see another one coming over. He's taking a couple of steps back. The nade stack is towards the tree, so he is okay. I think Buster's counting his blessings at the moment that he wasn't in a position where those nades were going to hit him. He's allowed to back off, but yeah, it is VP having to work for this banana control, and they haven't even quite yet got the top of it. They obviously know Vitality were just around here a moment ago, so they're trying to be at least a little bit cautious. I'm surprised they've sent qikert in on his own, but I guess just having the read that Vitality aren't going to stick around once they do toss those nades out. Oh, bit of pressure towards B from qikert. That's all it is, most likely, though, because they are setting up around mid, and they should be able to get out easily enough. Smoke towards long, that's going to block off 2 players. Obviously, they can make it back towards the bomb site easily before the pushes to start coming in. And a very nicely timed smoke as well towards the balcony.
We're getting low on time here, 35 seconds. Clock beginning to get very concerning indeed.
No.
Here's going to come the movement. They're now pretty committed into this. You can't really bail. If you do, it's going to be a complete panic. And they've rotated player off in towards Arch at just the wrong time. Nivera's given up that angle. Now they start to make their way up by the hay cart. Nivera back on the scene, though, and ready for it. First pick could be vital here. It's going to go in an even trade pretty much instantaneously. RPK gets one, it's answered, but here's the hold. No, never mind. SANJI clears it out. They're out of time, though. 8 seconds. Go, go, go. Numbers will be punched in. That's left to ZywOo. He's a phenomenal player, but he's got an MP5 in his hands right now. Might be able to retrieve a teammate's rifle from over by the arch, but he's going to try and get it done with a deagle. He's going to try and make it happen here. It is the bonus round, so there's some cash to burn. ZywOo, though, he's running out of time rapidly. Does have a kit, has a flashbang, no smoke to cover this off, and they've got a pretty decent crossfire from Graveyard and Sight here. So ZywOo will wrap through, needs to isolate the first fight. He spots SANJI, will connect the headshot, doesn't get the second, though. Jame will take him out of play. Still, I would say a very good round for Vitality. They bring it down to 1. They've got plenty of money to reinvest in here. Virtus.pro. Ooh, that round was dangerous. Even the hit, it didn't look like it was going to go their way up until SANJI manages to clean up 2. And they draw within 1 round.
Yeah, as you said, Vitality are still okay for the money. I think they had a couple players sitting around 8,000 or so even before coming into this round, thanks to taking those anti-ecos quite a bit cleaner. And yeah, with only a single player living for VP, I was very afraid there, not going to lie. Whenever I see ZywOo with a deagle moving in, he got that first kill, and I was like, oh, we're going to see a flick, aren't we? But no, thankfully for VP's sake, they do just about come out on top of it. But they need to keep it up. It can't just be that 1 round on its own and allowing Vitality to return. VP, if they want to get something going, it needs to be this round, which will break Vitality down. And, well, look at this. We're seeing them group up straight towards the apartments. Masuda, he's going to find some trouble. One player got past him. He has no idea. The flash had gone over, but he has help from below, rather. So RPK is there to give the assistance. So a very quick 5-on-3 goes the way of Vitality. And, well, the push that was coming in from VP has been completely stopped at this point. They seem a little bit intimidated to go any further, just seeing what had happened to their teammates previously. The issue is they have no control elsewhere on the map, so they don't even know if Vitality are pushed all the way down Banana again, because we've already seen that from them once or twice. So it's something that's certainly got to be in the back of VP's mind.
These side hits are just getting dismantled on take. The utility's not really connecting, not really finding the spacing there. And yeah, I mean, they don't really even find contact with either of the players. Misuta doesn't realize the player's gotten down. Yes, that was their 1 window, but then RPK on site can just clear it out. The tank strikes. And it's looking problematic. At this point, oh, what have they done? The bomb's alone in A. These 2 players are going to hit and try and draw rotations, and then I guess Buster's going to make this solo A play. Good luck.
We know it. It's the MM strat.
Yeah, at this juncture, though, there's not enough pressure, right? There's 2 players at a threat. There's not enough pressure to draw them off. And he's backing away. This is going to be a save? I think this is going to be a save. What are they doing? He's not positioned even in towards the site. 6 seconds. Yeah, they're just going to wait it. James got 1 kill. And that's what they're going to have to content themselves with in this round, because that clock has run out. And now they just don't want to go down after the timer.
Yeah, I was surprised he was even fighting it there before the time was gone. What, to get that kill with like 5 seconds left at most? Interesting. Could have risked, of course, losing another weapon at that point, but no, they managed to save them over. I was surprised they ended up going for the save as well, but it did make sense. Look at their money. They do not have much to go around those carried over weapons. They'll get a couple of pistols. They do go in for the full investment at least, but I mean, even then, keeping the pressure on Vitality, they need to actually be getting 3 to 4 kills here for it to be worthwhile, because there is a bit of money on a couple of those players already. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, great work from Vitality. Instantly returning with a round of their own, doing so in such a convincing fashion as well, only losing a little bit towards the end of the round. And let's see whether VP can bounce back now. 2 AKs, a Galil, and a couple of Deagles. And those Deags are actually what gives them a decent amount of utility, at least to work with as well. Nivera, he's going to be caught up on close on Banana. He's a teammate, I believe, tucked in. Also now moving back over towards the corner. They're probably the best. And, well, yeah, ZywOo just realizes his teammate's gone now. As I said, it's good that he's already gotten out of sandbags, otherwise he would have been trapped in that corner, so they do at least still have a defender over on B who can delay that push from coming in. So it's let Apex get in towards position, but yeah, Nivera gone early on. There's over a minute remaining, or rather just under a minute at this point, so I was going to say VP could slow it down, but no, they want to still hit this B bomb site, and a molly in front of the smoke. It does make things a bit more complicated. ZywOo, though, he's only able for 1. Buster ready for the trade, and while Apex, he doesn't want to wait for a retake or anything, pushes in to try and snatch a kill. Gets the first of them, but sticks around behind the smoke, and YEKINDAR, he doesn't need vision in order to return that trade frag. He will just spam away. The bomb goes down, and Masuda and RPK, with the money that they have, I think this is a save to be called for already, and that had definitely been kind of clocked by Masuda. RPK now just backing away to join him.
Makes complete sense here. I mean, that was a really nice entry. Nivera was even looking for the kill as they came over the half wall. Thought he might have that flick, but no, the head pops up. The kill comes in, and at that point, they're on the back foot. ZywOo 1 and done, not enough for them. Even the damage that he did, just not enough for them. And then they try and force in to get 1 more. That's Apex. It goes down towards the coffins. He gets taken through smoke. If he had just gotten that kill and lived, maybe they could attempt to retake. It's a great setup for them. But because he got collected, I think it was YEKINDAR who found him. It just all falls apart. So, VP keeping it close. Where does the money sit? There's plenty. Especially since RPK already has utility up. He can drop towards one of his teammates. And they will be A-okay to move forward here. I assume that's what's going to happen. No, ZywOo's actually going to take the MP9. Now, this is kind of interesting. And they've got the glass cannon AWP. This is really interesting. You're
straight up banana.
Continuing to put Nivera on the op. And you put ZywOo on an MP9. That's challenging. Nice nades. qikert. Not feeling great about those. ZywOo close up by the sandbags. They're going to leave him alone. They're going to leave him isolated. Now, this is interesting. #1 player in the world. What can he do? Connect with another nade. Drop some utility. Buy him space to get back towards site. Nicely done.
Yeah, I really thought they were going to go aggressive, and that's why ZywOo was sticking to the MP9 and not the op. But yeah, they decided against it for now. As you said, the utility was well used. That has given ZywOo the ability to back off, but he wants to come back in. He actually does want to go a bit more aggressive now. Didn't spot anyone around the corner, though, and that seems to have prompted a rotate. We're going to have Apex moving over towards A, or at least was considering it. He does decide to stick around as his teammates aren't really having a lot going on apart from those initial nades that were tossed in. So it's been kind of hinted at now by those A players, likely for Vitality, that it's not quite the commitment. But it is going to come back in that direction again. This is one thing VP are doing at the moment. They're making it very difficult to read what they're actually going for. We haven't seen it bite them in the butt yet in terms of time, but it has gotten close. Obviously, we've seen even back in that force buy they were on. But here we go. The long split is the goal. Smokes down towards Library and Arch, and well, they've caught 2 players alone between the pit and the bomb site. So Masuda and Nivera are going to need to go huge on this hold, and let's see what they can find.
That's a glass cannon as well for one of them. RPK tries to get through a smoke. He gets punished. Nivera on site can't hold up for long. And at this point, the site's been lost. Masuda still controls the pit. And that is massive for them. The bodies are dropping left, right, and center. And his is one. ZywOo, just an MP9, trying to get one of his teammates' rifles. And he might just back away and save this. But it is ZywOo. He's going looking. He's been spotted. He's been tagged. That makes his decision for him. Down to 12 points of health. That will be another round for Virtus.pro. That will be the tie coming through as well for the CIS side. And now the economy's gone. There's still money available on Misuta and RPK, but what are we in second round of loss bonus? I don't think they'll be able to justify purchasing here. With the one rifle, a force buy might be tempting, but there will be limitations. There will be limitations for sure. No one's going to get close enough to properly hunt this out, so ZywOo should be able to hold on towards the AK. Virtus.pro, they'd like to keep their own economy building. They don't really have the cash to throw away at chasing a gun when they don't know the exact position of it. And so they'll be content to let him keep that one AK.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. As you said, VP couldn't afford it themselves. There's not a great economy around that AK either way, so even if Vitality do buy, they're still going to have some weaknesses. They could have got a couple of rifles, but I'm good with what they're going for right now. It's 4-4. It's still relatively early days. Wow, those initial kind of gun rounds were going as well for Vitality, with them coming down so close even in moments, despite having a couple of weaknesses in the first gun round, especially retained over. I think they can be happy to be like, yeah, we'll just make sure we get everything that we need. Let's not have any weaknesses coming into these buys and give ourselves our best chance. Oh, Apex wanted to try and beat around Banana with that molly. Was that the... Did he get a nade on top of him alongside that, or did that molly just do that much damage?
It was 2 different Molotovs, and as he was trying to run from the first, the second goes down behind him, and he's got to run through that as well. I'm not sure if he caught any AP damage. Nivera! Nivera, they go for a full mid-peak. How did no one die? How did they die? God, what is happening here? ZywOo and RPK, okay, between the deagle and the rifle, they get 2 kills, and somehow the player in Boiler can collect nothing. YEKINDAR wondering what on earth just happened there. That is painful. ZywOo, though, will get collected. That was the rifle down. That's the biggest threat in the round. He gets buff player in dark corner. They do now. So, disaster, crisis should be averted. But they can pick up a couple of guns. And now things get interesting. RPK has the rifle in towards the church. Nivera's bringing it all the way from the other site. And there's still a player bottom of Banana. The insurance policy here to make sure they don't come through mid. YEKINDAR wants to get closer to the site sooner rather than later, though. Nivera drop. This should be all right. But, of course, Vitality are very content to throw these guns at the site to try and do the damage, to try and take the round. The opportunity is worth it. It's worth the risk. Here comes the swing. There comes the cleanup. That should be them okay. RPK might want to try and bail. He's not going to be allowed to. And that will be Virtus.pro taking it through with 5. Looked very risky at that initial mid-peak from Vitality. Well executed. But it is VP to take the lead.
Yeah, no, that was crazy. Who was in Boiler? Was that YEKINDAR who just, I don't know.
That was
It
YEKINDAR.
looked like he was shooting the player who strafed across, but didn't hit a bullet. That player was completely unaware there could be someone in Boiler as well. It was just a weird situation, but yeah, good job to recover at least from VP, because it really did look like that round was going to get completely out of control for them. Losing 2 was kind of the most that you want to be dropping against what they were up against. I guess there was obviously a little bit saved over and pistols and such bought up, but still, they needed to build up some economy. So 3, that's the bare minimum that they wanted. Vitality, though, coming onto the buy, you do see again some weaknesses in MP9 for Apex. It does at least allow the full nades, and that is pretty much it. And on a map like Inferno, I think you can be okay with that. It's not the biggest of deal that you have to go for that weaker weapon, because there's a lot of places where it is still extremely viable. But the kind of bigger thing we're missing, I would say, is that AWP. Ooh, kickered. Oh, there's actually a massive gap in the smoke. What? Okay, Apex blinded and jumping with the MP9. Oh, he gets spammed through smoke. I think that's fair, Buster. Needed a bit of revenge for the jumping MP9 kill Apex got. That's only fair.
Yes, I've had. There's been a couple of these exchanges. I mean, it was YEKINDAR and Boiler last round. It was Apex jumping, blinded, spamming with the MP9 here. Vitality have had a couple lucky breaks, and it's you feel for Virtus.pro a little bit when stuff like that is happening, because you don't really have a chance to fight back. I don't know how that one got away from qikert, but they equalize at the least. I think that's still a fine exchange for Vitality. You know, trade the SMG for 1. Now there's a follow-up kill for RPK over towards A. It's going to limit what they can do. The split can come through. YEKINDAR has a full road towards spawn if he wants it. But right now he's going to try and hold for the rotation. Wait for a player to come back around, and they're going to wrap on towards A. It's interesting to me that with this much real estate, they didn't want to try the pinch B. They put the doubt in Vitality's mind. They know they can control and isolate these players on site, and they're content to fight in like that. A smoke goes over. That's smart, because they don't want to imply that there is a player here. YEKINDAR's been able to walk out as a result. Walking through, he finds the site player. There's one. Now they just have to deal with Pit. And there's the swing for Pit, but YEKINDAR takes the fight alone, not waiting for a teammate. There is the cleanup, brings it to a 2v2 and the bomb plant with 10 seconds to spare. But this is winnable for Vitality. The only problem is they don't have utility. They don't have kits. I think there might be one down on site, but I'll have to keep track of that. Time could become very critical here, and it's already running out. There's the first shot hit. Jame nails it. And the follow-up as well. Buster keeps his teammate alive, and VP takes it again. These rounds, they're getting close. But at the end of the day, they're stacking up for VP, and this is now, what, 4 in a row for the squad?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it has been. So we should at least, yeah, at this point, obviously, I'm pretty sure we got 2,900 loss bonus there as well for Vitality, so it does make sense. We don't quite have our own scoreboard trackers up yet. Although that's something we were messaged about, Mike. That's pretty handy. We can do that now.
I do love the... I do love the smoke towards Moto, just to make them not worry about it as much. And then that's when you come in with YEKINDAR. It's a very nice use of subverting your expectations.
Surprised they moved.
Molly down, going to separate these
against pistol.
That's true.
And I'm surprised we're not seeing more aggression from Vitality into that position, because we also seen VP do that in that previous round, sure, when they ended up beaking in towards middle. And obviously things got dicey initially. But it's a very slow one from Vitality. And yeah, Nivera getting caught. I'd like to see a bit more of a stack, a bit more of a gamble, some way for them to use these pistols kind of in combination rather than, well, having this moment where it's everyone just taking fights on their own. RPK does have some help. It was a nice shot on the YEKINDAR. If they get a second long player, then it allows them to actually focus towards quad. But so far, he's not showing himself, waiting for his teammates to get in position. And yeah, when they start getting going, they don't even need him anymore. It's going to be up through short where all those frags come in with a single kill from ZywOo, adding a bit more damage, but it's not a lot. Again, VP continued to survive with kind of the bare minimum of 3 that you want.
I think you've identified, though, we're seeing what VP's game plan here. They found a little bit of a weak point, and they're going to continue to pressure it if they can. And that weak point is Nivera's hold towards Arch. that's what they've decided is the pressure point that they can potentially exploit. We're seeing it again and again and again. They seek for that arch control. They try and take that one pick, and then once they have him, they know that they've isolated the site, right? That's what it gives them, is then they can pinch on the remaining 2 players there. They've got a very good feel for what Vitality's playing. They're not really mixing up the default very much. They're not really changing up their look. And then you can catch that one player off guard. So here is a bit of a change-up for Vitality. It's aggression in towards the apartments. 2 players watching here. Nivera, one of them with the AWP, and then you play off of that with RPK. This is a not uncommon look. You've got RPK presumably looking more towards the wall so that he can play anti-flash. If his AWPer gets flashed, he can come in for the punish. Let's see, Sanji's going to take the fight, though. He spots the player, rips the head. 1 HP for Sanji. Oh, the fire rate of the AUG, I think, catching RPK off a little bit. Unfortunate for him, but it does mean that Nivera is going to have to fall. He's lost his bodyguard, and there are 3 players now drawn through here, which is a change-up. They've rotated a little bit more willingly. There's a player in Library, though, can't quite come out to help unless he walks through smoke, and Apex will get caught. Trying to spam it, he gets caught the other way, and that's a huge kill. Again, low HP for YEKINDAR, and he will get collected, but who cares? They've done the damage. They put the pressure on Nivera. He's all alone in the graveyard, or sorry, in the pit, and they could just apply a bit more to make him crack. These players are isolated. They are trying to figure out where ZywOo is. They've got time to play with, so they'll wait to see if he makes the maneuver. That flash gives them information. And did it somehow catch Nivera as well? Or was there a second flash that I wasn't watching? They want this kill, but now they recognize, okay, he's backed off for now. Now we bring the hurt. Nivera, you're just not going to be able to deal with all these players. Hitting the first is honestly even impressive there, but he does falter. Bomb will be down, and they've got forward positioning here in the Library. Jame will finish off ZywOo. 8-4. My goodness, VP now starting to come alive 8 rounds in a row. This momentum is a tough thing to stop, and Vitality will take a timeout to try and catch their breath and figure out what on earth they can change.
Yeah, Nivera really doing what he could there from the pit, but as you said, the long position at the moment is really being exploited, and it's tough because VP take it. Obviously, then the rotations just get absolutely ruined at that point, and they seem to always have a man up as well with like 2 players just pinned in around the bomb site who have no assistance. As I said, it's obviously worth noting that this is the map choice of VP, but we also know that Overpass coming up next is a map that VP are also very capable of playing. So if they're able to keep this going as they have been now, then that's going to be a scary prospect because what has it been now? 6 rounds in a row for VP. I believe so.
6. You're right.
8. Yeah. Okay. I was like, hang on. It was 2-4, right?
Counting
Either way,
hard.
6 is still very impressive. And considering that they've now again put Vitality just onto the half buy, it should be a 7th for them before they actually have any trouble potentially up against those weaponry. qikert though, we've seen him have a little bit of trouble against Apex's MP9 for a few rounds back. This time it's only pistols,
Ooh.
but that's too much for him to handle. ZywOo going ahead and stealing away 2 kills and a couple of rifles with it as well, to put VP in a very difficult position. This is honestly worse than the previous 3-on-5 that they had to try and recover from. Not only is there a little bit of nades there as well on the side of Vitality, but there's also the Kevlar alongside the weapons that they actually recovered for themselves. So yeah, VP are going to struggle with pulling this one back. This may be Vitality getting their feet back on the ground. This would be a fantastic round to get back into as well.
It would be. And now we've got a great setup. We've got 2 players to reinforce here towards the arch, but this has been their Achilles heel. There's going to be 1 player collected. Now the bodies start to drop. Can't let that happen for too long. Smoke's going to go in. A molly to counter it, and that'll allow Apex to recover the gun and get back towards site. Actually, he withdraws into the Library. That I find a bit surprising. Thought he'd come in to reinforce, but didn't want to get into a situation where they didn't have control of spawn. And that would put ZywOo on an island. But it does mean that the 2 rifles are isolated. It's just going to be pistols in towards the site proper. And let's see if Virtus.pro can recover this once more. Nivera down low. RPK tries to swing to get the trade. Not going to happen just yet. Now both players on site. They get dug out. And there we go. VP recover. Put themselves into a tough situation. They don't care. When it matters most, when the rubber hits the road, they're going to get that bomb down. They're going to get that round 1. And ZywOo again is left in a situation where he's the last alive. This is a tough situation for the man. He's just got to try and either come back in and make an absolutely heroic play or save. And in this instance, I think saving's probably the better call. He's already running out of time. Yeah, he's going to back off. He's just going to have to deal with what he's got. VP, I mean, look, they're getting caught off by some of these early pop flashes on the pistol rounds, but then their recovery is just phenomenal. And it comes back to the same position again and again for Vitality. It's all about the arches. As soon as they lose that control, their sight hold is weakened. So weakened. YEKINDAR peeking back into that spray. Ooh, did damage. He'll lose his own life, but it's worth it to try and chase this gun. But we've seen that. This has to change for Vitality. I don't know quite what they need to do to fix it. Whether it's, you know, have the player fall back in towards spawn a little bit earlier on, give up the kill and then play retake, or give up the positioning and then play retake. They've been trying to get Apex involved again, but he keeps getting caught in library behind a smoke and getting killed as he tries to come out. It's just not working. That section of the map is a true weakness for them right now.
We've got to wonder where the aggression is, though, because look how it's been working on the pistols for Vitality. Look at the advantages that they're able to get to ease that pressure. And then look at the gun rounds and how passive overall they've been playing, especially around A. I think that's the switch up that we do need to see from them. They actually have the op peeking in on mid a little bit here, so I think the goal is try and get that early kill, ease the pressure on the player around Arch off the back of that. But are they going to have a chance to even? Because it is looking like, again, it's going to be over towards A, but this time focused around the balcony drop, hoping that maybe the CTs will be focused elsewhere themselves. But no, they are not. RPK with 3 already from the balcony. Doesn't even need the scope on that. Og, maybe more to come his way as he spots Jame jumping out onto short. And, well, with that, knows where the final player is, of course, and he's not going to have a tough time. There we go. RPK wakes up, a fantastic quad kill, but you need more than that. You can't just have RPK coming through with quad kills. It's not a very reliable way to win those rounds. So we'll see whether they can come through with the 6th or not. And if they do, 6 rounds here on the CT side, it's not too bad, especially with a little bit of a recovery here if they get these final 2.
I will say one thing about Virtus.pro's A-side take. Does no one have responsibility for checking that close balcony angle? Because we've now seen 2 rounds where it caught them off guard. There was Misuta in the first, where a player jumped past him and no one had cleared him yet. Now it's RPK. They're really trusting that flashbang to catch the player and just silence him, I guess. Force him to fall off in towards pit, but it's not working. Something is not connecting there. So that particular take, that particular game plan, not working. I suspect it's just that someone needs to glance to the right. They're too late in fighting it, or they're really trusting that flashbang. It's a bit odd. This time they're going to take some top banana control. I like this. This forces Vitality back into their more passive hold that we've come to expect from them. Nivera. Close angle here, and he will be smoked. So much responsibility for the first face on the young player. But it's ZywOo who's got responsibility here on top of the orange boxes.
Oh.
Second oranges, he'll spot the player, but that's not the kill. Now they know he's here. If a cross smoke comes in, he is really isolated. Apex is going to want to come through to help him out, but he can't do it. And ZywOo doesn't get any impact. They lost the sight. Apex, he'll take 1. Almost the second. Good damage done, but he's lost it. The bomb will be down, and now a post-plant hold for VP. It's looking good. Spam tries to come back through. Apex eventually gets collected. Those tracers gave him away. Now this is very dangerous for Vitality. It's the last round, so of course they're going to go for it, but they don't have much to work with. Couple smokes. They do have kits, so there is that going for them, but no mollies to clear out the back. No nades to punish these low HP players. They're going to have to do it with guns. Here come the smokes. Try and buy a little bit of space. Some flashes over, perhaps to blind. Here comes the hit. There's contact. First player found. They're buying time, though, and there's the kills for VP. Double digits in their first half. We'll be back after this break.
This is not a drill, hold nothing back. This shoot to kill, in this leap of faith that you're in me too. You stand alone, but I'll watch over you. The clock is ticking, the clock is ticking. A single second could mean everything. Time is running, the time is running out. Don't give up, don't give in. Don't let me down. Be the one to wipe their grin when they hear this sound. Don't give up, don't give in before they catch a glimpse.
Been a while, yeah. Safe to say over a year. Still it feels like I saw you every day.
And we're back here getting ready for the second half of Inferno between these two teams, Virtus.pro and Vitality. And Virtus.pro with double digits in the first, looking very good on this map. Apart from a couple of shaky starts to pistol rounds that they quickly recovered, this VP side has looked merciless. And Vitality, frankly, looked limp. There's been vulnerabilities. They've been exploited again and again. They've allowed players to get isolated and then bullied. And it's just not looking great for the French squad. So let's see if they can recover here now in the second. Their own TC might be effective. This is a way to start it off. ZywOo just gonna go forward and exterminate. He's found one. He's found two. He's looking for more. He's got deep control. They don't realize the player's in the dark corner, and he's now crept out towards Pillar. So Buster could bust this whole side open. He's found Apex. He's gonna go for the extermination shot there. The second comes through, and that drops the bomb. They need to clear him out. Misuta will do so nicely. That could have been even more dangerous, and Jame hasn't gotten in position just yet. So this should now be the round for Vitality. We'll see what Jame can do as a solo man. He's now been spotted, so they know the direction that he's coming from. They can set up to receive him. That's no problem here. But he will give it the old college try. No kit. Might be one dropped in closer, but he's going to have to fight forward to begin with. Tags Nivera. Tag back in kind. This one should be over. He's running out of time. They're holding him out, and he's just going to go ahead and save his armor. Gives him something to work with. Recognize the situation. Recognize that it wasn't viable with the USP. And that will be Vitality starting off with a pistol here.
Yeah, fantastic entries coming in as well. It got a little bit risky there. Honestly, overlooking Buster does scare me because it's probably not a position they should have been letting him get away with those 2 kills in. But obviously, it doesn't do much for the round. For the side of VP. So the main thing is the pistol goes the way of Vitality, and now they need to keep that up. They want to get off to a strong start here and ensure they ideally get the 3-0 beginning for themselves off the back of beating out this force buy that is coming in from VP. We're seeing 2 FAMASs and a scout. This is an interesting approach. This is basically what you get when the AKs are dropped over on the T side, but instead it's the FAMASs now on the CT. All right, are we going to see some aggression maybe? The scout maybe trying to toss in a nade and do some damage, peeking in towards middle actually. That's the goal for Jame. They are, for the moment anyway, on the T side of things, not really being too aggressive about peeking in towards middle. They didn't want to peek in towards any force spot of weapons, but when they do eventually, they get picked apart. The FAMASs managing to take 3 kills between them. James surprisingly not doing anything yet, but they've ended up with a man advantage with both of those remaining Vitality players sitting in a precarious position, rather, because it's 1 bullet to the body that's needed. And on the first anyway, qikert done a little bit better with the head of RPK gone. It's another round stolen away from VP. For VP, and now we're sitting up 11-6. Vitality are in so much trouble. We might see the eco. The only thing is RPK is even looking at that double eco, so I'm not too sure. We'll see once this replay is done what they've decided upon, but no matter what, they're going to be going down a pretty substantial score before they really get going with those guns.
And that's both halves now, where we've seen them win the pistol and then immediately get stumped on the force buy. That's just such a rough draw, and that has to hurt your mental as well. That has to really hurt your mental. Just brutal. Struggle here for Vitality. They're going to buy back into it, try and fight this. They do have the AK on ZywOo, but it wasn't a great formula for them in the first. The one thing I will say is with the AK with the Deagles, if they manage to draw VP into range fights, it's actually quite a good situation for them. SMGs on the other side, not really that much to work with. They won't have any banana control early on, though, and actually that's going to allow them to rotate a 4th player over to defend A. With Buster alone in his responsibilities for banana. That's a lot on the shoulders of a guy who's got a Mac 10, but they'll make it work, or at least try to. YEKINDAR collects 1, nearly the 2nd, or the 3rd rather, as he does take the 2nd and so much damage, now makes it an easy mop-up for his comrades. RPK catches a player, looking a little bit too chunky outside by the pillar. Now he's got a rifle, now he's got the bomb. This could work out. He's pushing back down in towards mid, nearly got caught by Jame, but Jame didn't take the peek. Do they realize where he's gone? I would assume that they'd think he'd go towards the A site, but he's actually going to get checked. Oh, no. The damage is done, but He barely manages to pull through. Buster saving their lives with a Mac 10 of all things. It is expensive. It is costly. But VP, they take 12, and that's all they care about here.
That got way too close for my liking right there. Nice try by RPK. That is a big positive for us right now, or for the Vitality fans, I suppose. That RPK is showing some pretty decent form. Had good rounds on the CT side. Obviously, coming through with a few kills there to at least make it a costly one. But yeah, we need people to step up alongside him. We're just going to need a lot more across the board from Vitality to make this comeback happen here on Inferno anyway. Obviously, it's only the first map of the series, and it is VP's map choice. There is the force buy there with the AK bot out. They've kept money onto a few of the players. RPK is also obviously fully invested because he dropped the AK over and took a deagle in return. So it's just the one hero AK. They want to try and again make it a costly round. They probably wouldn't have went for this if RPK didn't get so much damage done either in the last couple of seconds. Actually, scratch that because they couldn't have afforded it if he didn't.
Yeah,
but, yeah.
It's interesting, right? Because I get the urge to continue to limit the CT economy. We saw them do a really good job of doing damage through the rounds in the first half. They just couldn't close them out. And obviously that can be more punishing when your opponent's now on the CT. But it also, to me, speaks to a little bit of concern of they're looking at the 12-6 scoreline saying, okay, we need something silly to break our way. So let's give ZywOo an AK. Molly in. Here's going to be the clear. ZywOo will make that AK work. Now they've lost banana control. Buster gotta get back, and he actually gets tagged, and they're gonna chase. They're not gonna give him time. He gets back towards New Box, but they know he's here. Now he's got teammates to support. They don't have a smoke to cover off, so the crossfire is gonna be brutal. And SANJI here for the cleanup. Vitality just nothing doing. Again, we see them get a good start to a round. This was always the story in the first half, and then it just falls apart. Apex gets a rifle, but in doing so, he gives up his angle, and Jame will take him out, escort him into the afterlife. So that's now full rifles taken through for VP. They actually get the AK, which is a nice bonus. They don't have to deal with the SMGs anymore, and it's not even going to be a gun round, likely, for Vitality. If they invest in here, they're going to be very limited. And look, if they buy at this juncture, oh, they've done it. They've done it, Dean. I really hate this. They're going to have no chances for actual gun rounds. They're going to go up to 14 if they lose here. They're never giving themselves a proper chance in the second half. That's the reality of the decisions they've made. And meanwhile, there's an AWP on the other side. There's all the utility on the other side. There's everything doing for VP, and they've still got about 2K on most players.
I mean, it's
Vitality
RPK lacking.
But he's so lacking. He's got a P250.
How he's been playing as well, yeah, I definitely would have wanted him on a weapon. Okay, good thing they didn't give him an AK because he didn't even see anyone. To get spammed with a smoke by YEKINDAR, who's, well, he seems to love those smokes. I've seen him get a ridiculous amount of kills through smokes in general. I recall it the last day as well. Smoke on towards Jame on long. Maybe Vitality taking a play from the book of VP, trying to isolate this long player. Not going to challenge him, but do just push him back by using that smoke. Again, though, man disadvantage already with RPK gone. They also have a weaker weapon with the Galil on towards ZywOo, who also isn't the player you want on anything but the AK or not. So we'll see how it goes. Good frag by Apex. They didn't expect the second player, though, already peeking in from mid. Well, a perfect flash over. Much better from Vitality on that balcony flash. It does at least allow for the one trade to come true. Was from Masuda, and now they've got SANJI trapped in the back of the bomb site. A nice molly to keep Jame at bay. And this should give them room for the bomb plant now. The only issue is actually it's on the player in the pit, so hang on. Masuda's going to have a tough time moving it over. James posted up. He does need some help from a teammate, but in terms of the nades, that smoke I was going to say could be tough to get down, but never mind. Masuda had already thrown one out. I thought it was only Nivera who had one to work with.
Buster's here.
So yeah, this could be the cross. They're going to double peek Buster. I like the idea on the play, but they didn't see him. Never mind. Perfectly hung on to. One headshot from Buster, and well, now Nivera alone on 8 health at this point. Hoping to force the 1v1 before actually sticking that bomb plant, but he's not given the chance at this point now. He doesn't have the time. They run in. It's a crazy peek from James. Thankfully, though, there is no way that Buster could be taken down in time. He backed around the corner, and then, well, once the time is gone, he comes back in and puts an end to Nivera to just ensure that the economy is going to be in complete tatters right now for Vitality. That is worst case scenario. This should be 15. It should be map point for VP, and this has been an incredibly dominant map. A reminder, this was 2-4 at one point, right? In favor of Vitality. That was a wild
been a long time since. I mean, it's been a long time since that point. They haven't really gotten anything except at the beginning of the maps, or at the beginning of the halves rather, and that was just, yeah, it's rough. for Nivera. Obviously, it's a no-win situation. He's trying to win the round. He's not just trying to get a bomb plant, but getting the bomb plant would have gone a long way to at least giving them something in this. And they're going to buy in again because they do not fancy their chances to try and play for 9 rounds of OT, and I don't blame them in that regard. They've got to get something going here, but it just hasn't worked. Even the rounds they've had an advantage, we quickly see it drawn back the other way. In that round for VP, it was perfect trading. As soon as they seem to get something, it gets traded back. And this is just... This is complete disaster for Vitality. This is the thing we were concerning about. We knew that VP's Inferno was good. I think both of us were giving them the massive advantage on it, but you want to see something from Vitality to get into this series. You want to see something working, and right now there's not much. They are going to take some banana control, and that will be given to them freely. There's actually not a lot of utility left on VP, which is surprising to me, Dean. They seem to have spent a lot of their nades to hold these pistols at bay early on. Here comes the hit. A lot of damage done for YEKINDAR. Not going to be able to stay alive, though, and that does put some pressure onto Buster, but as we know, Buster is usually up to the task. But ZywOo walks through, deletes the player. That's the thing that he can do. The star power factor that you have to account for when you're playing against him. It's been a little quieter this game than perhaps we always expect, but now can they hang on to the post? Some limited health for Misuta, but 2 rifles should give them a fair chance at this. The hit's going to come back in. VP wants this. They do not want to give Vitality a breath of life in this map. That's a huge kill. The Deagle gets 2. That should not have been allowed, and here's the shutdown. Misuta, big round. 3 kills. 2 of them with limited health and just the hand cannon in his palms. Vitality, they find a breath. They find a moment of life. Maybe that's enough to drag themselves out of this.
Yeah, I mean, there's still quite a ways to go, Mike. I'm not gonna jump the horse quite yet. Wait and see what they're able to achieve here. Obviously, no money, at least in this round for VP. They actually have the double eco on 2 players, but on 3 players rather, but decide against going for the force. And yeah, I'm good with that. Maybe a couple of upgraded pistols could have been a good idea, just because they're not looking at the buy in this next one either way. But they bought a flash. They've got a stack coming in over towards B, and the hope was obviously the push would come up banana in the early moments, and then maybe they could have at least taken a few players before the round was done for. But that's not the case. Vitality have charged up mid. That is the correct decision, so the bomb will be planted. And at this point, with only $200 investment, VP may as well try and set themselves up for exafrags as soon as they realize that bomb has gone down. Get 1 to 2 kills. Well, probably more so towards the 2 kills. At that point, then you're doing some damage to Vitality. You're putting them in a position where losing that 1 round could instantly leave them with a bit of a dodgy economy to try and actually fight back towards the overtime. So we'll see whether that'll be achieved or not, but at least so far, they don't really look to leave B. Oh, now they will. Here we go.
Nah.
Quick decision to sprint
now the murder
over.
snake moves. I think it's a little bit late, though. They might try and just do some tap damage in towards the player's pit. See if they try and save in towards pit. Take him down with the bomb. But the bomb's played in the far corner, so that shouldn't really matter. Pit should be quite safe. Here comes the wrap. USPs, can they do anything? Maybe. Here comes the pressure. No, the hold is good. qikert gets 1. Dies to the bomb. Yeah, nothing doing there. Nothing really to show. That's fine for Vitality. They will brave the storm. And it does mean that they're going to be able to fight with guns in their hands. The force is coming through here for VP. Now, this is interesting. The AWP has been purchased up. Are they just going to go for the hero AWP and then pull up deagles around it? Interesting. Okay, where do they put jame? The 1 AWP available. Where does he go? Peek down mid. Looks like he's going to get aggressive with it. That is certainly the answer. Hoping that they're not expecting an AWP in this round, and they won't be. 1 player erased, taken out of play, and now the doubts have to be in Vitality's minds. How much have they brought into this? They're just going to go fast. They're going to try and prevent that AWP from repositioning, from really being a thorn in their side, but there's still a player balcony. They're not clearing for it. SANJI gets 2 in sight. qikert not even needed. He will be cleaned out of the apartments, but now the AWP's on the angle. James still smoked out. SANJI. The molly in his face, he's got to swing, and that is well done from Vitality to prevent utter panic from sinking in. Jame, careful, stays alive. YEKINDAR's on the flank, though. He's got an AK, and I don't think they're going to expect it to get the balcony. He's going to deal with the pit player. Now he knows it's just sight, and he's got it as well. No bomb plant even for Vitality. Just an AWP brought into the round, but that was enough to offset the tempo for Vitality and for the pistols to then see it through. Map point found for VP.
absolutely insane. I think what happened was there, they spot the op obviously up around mid. He goes back towards long. They probably at that point may even think that it's just the op around there and that they've probably even stacked up the pistols elsewhere. But yeah, no, overlooking the balcony, that double kill from SANJI then basically just put a stop to it, or at least that's what it looked like. Obviously, it did still come down to YEKINDAR needing to pop up with that double kill, but they were just let to get away with way too much in that case. And, well, yeah, Vitality, they need 7 rounds in a row just to take us to an overtime right now. Again, it is VP's map choice, but it's the start that they wanted, and it's the start that they're getting as well. A decent return, at least from Masuda towards the op on long. What else can they do? I was going to say qikert has a strong position around the quad smoke, but no, RPK thankfully cleared it. So there we go. Easily one of the better positions we've seen from Vitality. They get on towards the bomb site. Don't take too much damage. RPK is tagged up a little bit, but as they get the bomb down, I don't even know if VP want to try this. Because if they save YEKINDAR and Buster both actually have enough to drop, and even then they only need to drop over to qikert. But they might stick around. There is still one player here. I think he just wants the op. It's in that smoke, though. So picking it up, unfortunately, could give away his position.
He goes reaching. Doesn't quite find what he wanted, but he'll be able to get the AK and get the upgrade and get out of there. So that is going to be a save from VP. Vitality, again, they stay alive. They manage to make it happen. RPK has to be a little bit careful about dying towards the bomb, so he's going to come down in towards T-Apps. That might give Buster a chance to get one more kill. That would be somewhat frustrating. Ooh, RPK just around the corner. A standoff of the X-rays, but neither player is going to peek, so they will both make it through. 6 rounds back for Vitality. That's how much they need to run here. They're going to have the buy to do so. I don't think they'll have the AWP. No, certainly not. And over on the other side, it's fine. A-okay. Lots of utility. Kits. Armor. Whatever you could need. You've got. Oh, they do get the op up. Not quite sure where that came from. Apparently someone had enough capital. I guess it would have been RPK, considering what he has got left. So that makes sense. Apex RPK, a couple huge openers. That's what we like to see. They take that top banana fight and they win it. The Thorn and VP side. So now here Vitality, they have been late to join the game, late to get into the map. But they're starting to show what we expected to see from them. Starting to show what we expect to see from this team. And now we've just got a little bit of presence that's going to be held towards Banana. It's going to draw out some more utility. Really like this from RPK. He's just wasting his kit to draw away what they've got so that if they have to go back into a late hit, it's going to be good. It'll be a retake setup for VP, and with this site now taken, the bomb going down, it's going to be another save. They're not even inching off a B. Instead, they're bringing qikert around to support, and that's a good call. 5v3, you don't want to go into that. Not without positioning in towards pit or something to play off of. But this time, Vitality, now they've got a buffer of money. They're going to come hunting. They're already up Banana. Jame is looking for it. He's their first point of contact. Time is going to be everything here as they peek around. Do they flash for it? No, they just check it dry. Doesn't really work out against Jame. He will punish you for that. Now they're getting back in towards site, but this is going to be a heck of a hit. Let's see if Vitality can get away with these guns, or stealing away these guns, or if they're just going to be losing bodies. Here comes the wrap. SANJI should be dead in the oranges. He is indeed, but they've withdrawn towards the church. Vitality. Not looking like they're going to get much more. One more swing, one more death for Vitality. They do take one rifle out of the hands, and that might be enough to force a save here. Indeed, I think it is. It's Virtus.pro. Well, they don't fancy their chances. They'll still have the op. They'll still have the M4. And we saw them win a round with barely more than an op before. So it's not easy street for Vitality. But it does get them more going.
Yeah, they only had the, well, they had the op obviously on long, but then they only had a few pistols around it. This time, extra nades and M4 as well. Yeah, Vitality have certainly still got to be careful. But they are waking up. As you said, we're getting something from them now. But Jame, I like that the second mid peak, he finds ZywOo creeping up. There was a second player as well, but he wasn't given a chance to do anything about the trade, and he actually gets caught by qikert who pushed up through apps. So this round is just crumbling again for Vitality. If this is how they lose it, Mike, it would be a heartbreaking way for map 1 to go. 3 on 5 to try and recover. They might at least be making the correct decision to go towards A, but as I say that, they start backing off. You actually have Jame now moving back towards the B-bomb site on the op as well. They're actually doing that so they can leave him alone and stack the weaker weapons over towards A, which overall I do like that idea. It's just unfortunate that it looks like the hit is coming back in this direction, because if Jame does end up going down without a kill especially, then without a kit, that retake would be difficult. But we'll see. Apex at the moment alone on long. He wants to try and rapture the spawn and, well, I guess keep some of these A players in position as well. They might realize now as he starts working his way through the arch that it is the B play at hand. And I mean, those nades definitely should have given that away by now. But again, Apex is keeping that rotator busy. And now we need to see what Jame can show up with. It's the first shot. There we go. RPK falls. Posted back on the angle. The molly is complicating the situation, but he's staying alive. He's doing everything he can right now to make this winnable. Nivera, he hits the shot. There we go. His shoulder was all he needed. Apex has finally joined up with his teammate on B as well. And now we've got a 2-on-2, which is flipped back in favor of Vitality. It looks like this should be their round. But again, that was way too close, Mike.
A 4K for Apex, though. Coming alive. The captain dragging his team through. You're absolutely right. That was way too close. Virtus.pro. They tried to go for the gamble, put the AWP on, hope the AWP would be enough to dissuade them from going for the B hit, but the split works through. And Apex, yes, he was only dealing with 2 USP players, but he did a good job of isolating them, identifying them, taking the kills, and making sure that his teammates could work without fear of players coming back through from spawn. So now let's see what we've got from VP. This is where the limitations start to come in. They've still got the AWP. They've got the rifles. But obviously, if you're Jame, you can't go for that aggressive ult mid-peek twice in a row. Just doesn't quite work out. Nade in. Jame eats that full on. Catches it in his teeth. He's down to 29 points of health now with the AWP. So that early banana aggression pays off for Vitality. They won't have the damage confirmed, but they can fall away. I think that they've likely done quite a bit. The last nade actually doesn't check that much, but it will push the players back towards site. And they're again just leaving Buster here. Ooh. A bold strategy. Vitality seem to have recognized that Virtus.pro are quick to fall in towards the stack, and this time they might be exploiting it. One smoke to try and draw the rotation, to try and hold their rotations, rather, in place on A, but as the player comes through, that was SANJI, who should now have the info. Somebody needs to get moving to help out their teammate. It's all going to be on Buster. Buster is a man alone, has a single smoke to try and slow this down. That smoke better go down this instant if he wants it to do anything of it all. And indeed, it's not going to. Instead, he's just going to have to fall away. This might be a 5-player save. Yeah, they're now moving off of A. They've lost the site. It's what it's going to be. 4 players as Nivera collects 1. But they're not going to bother with this. VP, they want another gun round. They don't want to give it up here.
I'm kind of okay with it, though. I mean, they didn't really have great nades coming into this round, and did they even have a kit? Oh, only if Buster had a kit did they have a kit. So I can understand wanting to go for the stack. It puts you in this position where, sure, you might lose the one player if the hit comes in towards his position. But now they can just save 4 weapons and basically have another full gun round in this following one. And when you're at such a close scoreline as well, it can make sense. But yeah, obviously the gamble of taking that stack, it didn't pay off. Vitality, they seem to have a little bit of a read, as you said, that VP do enjoy to make these rotations happen quickly. And they don't budge from them all that easily either once they've set them in place. It's been the opposite
something that,
for Vitality as well. We didn't see a lot of hits from VP.
No, that's true. That's true. And certainly not a lot of splits either, which we've seen Vitality employ a bit more effectively. But I was just going to say it's something that VP's been memed on a lot of the early saves, the Jame time, the classic. But it does give them these opportunities where they can continue to keep a buy going. And especially, as you said, in those limited utility rounds where they say, okay, we can't really manage a retake. We can't really manage a site hold if they come in towards B with 2 players. You can't just drop the Molotovs and slow them down. Well, deal with it. So now it's a question of what they want to do in this next round. I could actually see them just dropping a Deagle over to Buster, or even Buster purchasing his own, getting a little bit of utility and working with what they've got so that they've got to buy in the next regardless. And honestly, I think that'd be a great idea.
Yeah, I think that's what they're going to get as well. He's bought a smoke. I thought he was going to buy body armor maybe and take a pistol off a teammate. I think that's what you were kind of alluding to right there as well. But no, he gets his own. He does get the Deagle drop, but he gets the smoke instead alongside it. I mean, that makes sense. It would be nice to have the Kevlar at least, so if a player, I was going to say, so if a teammate goes down, he can pick up one of their guns, and he will eventually pull it out. I was going to kind of conclude either way that it's not the biggest of deal since they still have everyone else. But yeah, he's there. He's ready as a backup if needed, if one of his teammates do fall. But yeah, I mean, 3 M4s and an op alongside that Deagle. This is basically a full buy apart from the lack of nades that they're working with as well. So we do know this is a round, obviously, that VP still have a chance of snatching away, but their main focus in terms of saving towards that next full buy, obviously, is this next round. We are going to see a slower approach from Vitality, creeping up banana with the majority of players. It looked like ZywOo was initially going to try and move towards the apartments, but no, at the moment, he's just making sure they're not going to be getting pushed down mid or pushed in through the apartments down the stairs. And it's looking like a quick B hit. This time they're not finding only Buster. It is actually a 3-man stack in place. And, well, yeah, with the boost of also, this could catch Vitality off guard. We've already got a 2-for-2 trade. was actually one of those kills coming in around mid, so that's prompted Vitality now to move back. But Jame is pushed up in the apps, and they have no idea he's going to catch the bomb on the cross. There we go. Apex goes down, trying to come back in. It is Nivera on an op of his own, but Jame leaves the angle, and that is some good timing to do so, I must say. If he can just stay alive, waste time, let his teammates get here, and ensure that by the time Vitality get that bomb, that they're not going to have an open bomb site, and that is the perfect play. And, well, he's been spotted by ZywOo in the apps, but now he knows where he's coming from as well. He knows that the player had initially bypassed them. ZywOo, good work. He gets both of them. There we go. Fantastic recovery now from Vitality, which should allow the bomb plant, but Buster, he still wants to try and work back in. Damn. This, again, Vitality, they always have to fight back into these rounds. Backs against the wall. They never have an easy time.
There's a gap in the smoke as well, which is problematic. It's going to allow Buster around. Nivera is trusting that smoke quite a bit. He's glancing both ways. Now I think he spotted the player coming over. Yeah, you can see he's drawing ZywOo in. He's just trying to buy time for his teammate to get into the angle. They will clean it up. Nicely done for Nivera. 4 kills for ZywOo. A huge round for him. The initial mistake of not clearing the second player out of apartments, that's what leads to the bomb drop, but he corrects it by getting these 2 huge kills to open up the site. Maybe a little bit of an error for Jame taking that fight in that particular angle. It's just tough to do with the AWP, but still an incredible performance from ZywOo. Oh my. Vitality, they fought back into it. One thing I can say that's very much in their favor is they fought into it with a team effort. Pretty even across the board. They're all contributing. And that's what they need. They can't have too many errors here. It is going to be a buy again, as we had hinted at. Virtus.pro, we're building towards this round. Nice nades in ZywOo. Down to 38 points initially, and they're trying to chase this damage. They're trying to chase this control. RPK, he's got a flash to help him out. He's tucked into the corner, but he's going to get that kill. Beautifully done. Turns it back on them. Now they want this aggressive banana control again. They're looking for this fight. There's no op to hold the angle. Jame is elsewhere on the map. But there is utility here for Virtus.pro to slow it. So Vitality, they win that initial skirmish. Now they can settle in, take some control wherever they would like. Get interesting. Nades over, continuing to chip these players down, but they're going to take some banana control. They're going to take some apartments control at the same time. Now they've got options. They've got options. Maybe a bit of a fake drawn here, but it is 2 players isolated towards site. Jame, a good shot, and then he could fall, get away from this angle. The smoke gives him the cover, but he could go in towards the lane again. This was the aggressive position he got caught in last time as they came out the bow. What's he going to do this time? Sanji's going to find one. Is the trade there? It is for Vitality, and the cleanup for Buster means they've got no options towards B. You could see Nivera was thinking about it, but now if he comes out the tunnel, well, Jame's going to be watching. A player comes in from Boiler, though, and Jame was so focused in on getting that kill that ZywOo exploits it. Read his intentions perfectly, and now ZywOo can get in towards the pit. The op is in such a strong position. Nivera just gets around the corner before he gets checked. qikert going to be able to take up this angle. This is definitely going to be a retake for Virtus.pro. It's too tempting to give it away. Give up the opportunity, and they're gonna have to wait some time. qikert has to work his way in towards the balcony, but they don't have too much time to play with. There aren't kits here. An upgrade for qikert. They haven't heard. Are they both just gonna swing from lane? Seems to be a bit of a read. There's the op claim. No, they are gonna save. Okay, interesting. Save these guns to the last round, not try and go for it here. I don't know that I love that tendency, but it will at least give them the weapons to fight with in the last. They did not fancy their chances on the timing. And so Vitality bring it within 1. They're so close to overtime now, Dean.
Yeah, I don't know if they really knew quite what damage they had done, I guess, towards ZywOo especially. So, without that killing, it's just not really wanting to give this one a go. They'll get the drops in. SANJI, I think, just pick up an M4 and body armor on his own then, so they should at least be able to get weapons across the board. He could also go to something a little bit weaker, but yeah, they have an okay buy here at least to try and fight for the overtime, but that was looking so good. Very well played, though, between, I forget who it was, the second player at this point, but ZywOo up in the apartments was able to hear that initial scope. What kind of made me go, ooh, was the fact that Jame was already scoped in, but he swapped into the double scope so he could get the slightly better vision on the underpass, expecting a player to pop out of it. But yeah, it ended up just kind of giving away his position that was called over by ZywOo, the player in the underpass, just that tucked in for a moment, and while ZywOo gave them the opening onto the bomb site, and it was just really well played. Again, Vitality, so many rounds now on this T side, they've managed to pull back from either a 3-on-5, some of them against pistols and slightly weaker weapons, to be fair, but even that one there, that 2-on-3 that they were able to recover was fantastic. And obviously you can see the pressure now is getting the VP. It's one more round. This is their last chance to close it in regulation, and with it being their map choice, you definitely don't want to be letting this one slip into an overtime and potentially losing it as well. So we'll see. It is a good buy, as I said. Only SANJI on the weaker weapon with an MP9, and It looked like we were about to see the off battle on mid, but Vitality not wanting to take any gambles, just flash jame back off the angle.
Jame not going to connect the shot this time. This is big problem. He's the only player towards site. They've left him isolated a lot. He's been punished for it, and you can see it here. They're wrapping. They want that kill. They have it. Now they've got the site. Now they've got the bodies. Now they've got the bomb down, and it's looking like overtime. YEKINDAR and Bust are going to have to try for a clutch, and this time there's no option to save. And this time, instead of 2 weakened players on site, it is 4 healthy boys ready to welcome them in the action. There's going to be the hit. RPK takes the one. Buster now alone. He's got to go for it. Going to set up a smoke to try and get him some space on towards site. He's going to come bursting out. Has the kid at the least, but he's running out of time. He's running out of clock. He's got to go now. He's got to make the move, and they know where he's coming from. There's nothing he can do about that. He's just got to try and isolate something, anything going here. The sprays will come through. He will catch one, but that's going to be all she wrote. Map. Well, we get a little bit more. It's overtime, folks. We're going to take a break here. We'll be back with OT.
Our faith was left out in the open. Saw the fear in your eyes as we move through the dust. Nights turn into days, wanna buy another. Under darkened skies, we await, bound to each other. But our spirits never die. Faded as we push through the darkest times. I'll be there by your side. We arise when everything's breaking. Our souls will awaken. Our spirits never die. At the end of the line, the trust in our hearts beating louder. Under darkened skies, we await, bound to each other. But our spirits never die. Faded as we push through the darkest times. I'll be there by your side. We arise when everything's breaking. Our souls will awaken. Our spirits never die.
Face myself in the mirror not so long ago, and I told me, do you know? I told me, do you know? All alone in your head, but you don't have to pretend.
And we're back here with overtime. We got more action on Inferno, more magic to go for. A little bit more CS to play out. What a comeback from Vitality. They looked over and done with. They looked like they were washed out. And then round after round after round, they claw their way back in. Some questionable decisions for VP in that last run of rounds cost them. We're going to see the play. Double op out for Virtus.pro. We didn't see any of it in the first half. I don't think we saw it one round in regulation. So now a chance to show us if that's the change-up they need to make the CT side work. Vitality, some star performances, some big individual rounds, but also just some good team play. Excellent punishing. In particular, they punished Jame when he would isolate so many different rounds over towards A. We'll see if they can get that going again here in OT.
Oh, well, you are actually going to find the secondary up on the opening frag over towards Banana. Nivera getting caught by it, not expecting the switch up from VP. As you said, I believe this is the first time we had seen it. The economy before never really allowing it to come true, but YEKINDAR, thanks to the molly from his teammate that was just thrown in, he finds RPK completely alone. They had isolated that second player. I believe it was Apex there. Yeah, he wasn't able to come in and help out. He will eventually get Banana control at least, but, well, they're left in a 3-on-5. It's a position I was mentioning they've been able to recover from a couple of times down in these clutches. But this time it should be a little bit more difficult. You've not really got a lot of nades left, though, actually, on the side of VP. It is Buster and YEKINDAR over on B, so they've only got one smoke, so it is down to hitting these shots. So if Vitality can even go 2 for 1 on this trade, then it wouldn't be a terrible position. But we'll see. Buster still posted up on the op. He's waiting for the peaks to come in. He was initially blinded, but a little pop-up and shot through the smoke takes off the head of ZywOo. Flash over. Actually blinded up his teammate there, I believe Apex did. He forced Masuda to go in towards the smoke so that he wouldn't be taken out. And, well, yeah, he eventually goes down. No, sorry, it was actually a flash over from Jame. I was incorrect. Great flash down from Jame, I suppose.
Buster got all those kills. That's amazing.
Oh,
he came away with a 4K.
Oh, 4K,
no, not
yeah.
quite. YEKINDAR took one early on, but Buster, I mean, YEKINDAR's peeking, shooting this guy's head. He doesn't get that kill that we see in the replay. He doesn't get either of those. Buster takes both. He's so quick with that second op. That's ridiculous. That's got to feel a little bad if you're YEKINDAR. You literally had the headshot lined up, and it's just denied. But I think he's very content to let his teammate take that one through. Still, it never fails, right? You're struggling to get that last round. You're struggling to put the game away. Finally, you get to take a breath of air with overtime coming in, and then boom, as soon as OT happens, you get that first round. Why couldn't we do that in regulation, guys? Well, now it's time to see if they can do it for 3 more rounds. Good shot for Buster. Tracer's giving away Apex's position, and now Banana, well, they know it's closed for business. That nade connects. Honestly, thought that could even be chunkier, but the triple stack manages to withdraw just in time to avoid taking most of that shrapnel. I leave Misuta as a human shield just to soak up that lovely HE damage. This has allowed Virtus.pro a lot of control. They got the op peeking deep in towards Banana. Buster has to be a bit careful not to be punished, but he's been good so far, so let's put our faith in him. See that he can do it. Vitality, though, if they could isolate this opera, if they could take him down, that would be excellent. He does have a molly, though. He can take off, fall off the angle, and wait. Oh, my! That was such a round. There we go. That's a kill. That's a big opener for them. ZywOo, he gets lagged, but he survives, and he takes out Jame, and that's going to draw their focus back. You see it prevents the rotation from YEKINDAR, which is actually the right read as they're coming back towards A. ZywOo is low, but he wants to be the tip of the spear. He's going to get cleaned up. And there's the trade. qikert was a little bit too isolated. The triple stack behind him, they managed to punish, and that means pressure's on towards SANJI on the site. They're coming in. If SANJI can find one here, he sets up his teammate for the possibility, but Misuta, an opener. YEKINDAR getting out of the library. We'll take one. So with 2-on-2, this is possible, but tough. They're in towards the pit already. Very strong position to hold. Nivera locking down the moto spot. They're both working their way in here, but they're not predicting the pit spot. That's the insurance policy here. Misuta doesn't want to peek until late. And they're whittling time down off this clock. Virtus.pro, they're going to let this smoke expire. They're going to play with the time, flirt with danger here. YEKINDAR hoping that he's going to get an opportunity on the AWP. The boost up over the smoke, even a possibility, but no, they're going to come through. Now it fades. Now the hit comes in. There's one. The trade is there, but it's Misuta from the pit who cleans everything up. That was the insurance policy. That was the position they were counting on, and he delivers as well.
Yeah, we're tied back up. I wasn't expecting this. We've seen such a dominant first half from VP as well. This CT side has been a struggle for them, surprisingly. The double up setup at least comes back in. That was something we hadn't seen during regulation. Obviously, Buster made it work during that opening round, but let's see if he can get back onto his feet now because, well, they do want to be getting this second round, ideally, on the CT side. Again, it was the T side where they found most of their success, but I think that's why you'd want to try and get the second here on the CT. Have yourself then in a good position to be trying to put an end to this one. But I'm liking the aggression we're seeing around apps. Not really something we've caught from either team so far. It will unfortunately be traded back in towards middle, which is given now full long control over to Vitality, so this is an issue. Jame comes back into the apps and does at least catch one, and I believe that was Buster who's able to get the kill over towards the bottom of Banana, so suddenly it's a 4-on-2. Masuda and Nivera both caught in towards the bomb site itself with not really any control to work with. The play off of this bomb, they are going to need to try and either fight their way out or just hang on to this bomb site itself. Nice molly though, it might force the pit player out, but I don't think it's really going to give him much of a chance. Actually does catch the long player first. Another molly goes down, and Nivera, yeah, there was nothing to be done. Absolutely surrounded by flames, and there it is, a 17th round that goes over towards VP. So they are again able to keep a little bit of a lead heading into the second half or the overtime, just as they were able to do during regulation.
True, but this time they got the lead on the CT side, which is where we saw Vitality manage to make the run back. So now Vitality, they're going to have to show us that this defense can work, and I think a lot of it's going to come down to that arch position. I will say Nivera, who was a player who was getting bullied a lot in that first half, he's acquitted himself nicely. He's 20 and 20, and he's also got 10 assists. So that ADR has got to be off the chain here for Nivera. ZywOo as well has come alive. We expect it from him. We expect that star power. Doing it. Aggression, and that's exactly what we expect. They're not ready for it. There's the follow-up as well with the nade. Now 2 players down initially. All right, that's great for Vitality. But in regulation, Dean, we saw so many of these rounds where they got an advantage, even a double man advantage, and then they let it slip away. Can't have that happen again. With the guns, with the amount of utility they have, we don't expect it, but we still have to see them deliver.
We were catching a lot of clutches on the Vitality side. We did have VP, I believe, coming through with a few clutches as well. I think also a lot of the time, though, that was against when they were up against the weaker weapons and were getting caught by pistols and such, and then had to recover the situation. So we'll see how this goes. B also wasn't a bomb site. We've seen them hit a lot. So even moving in this direction right now, it's something that hasn't, one of the sites, rather, that hasn't been tested quite as much. ZywOo, though, a man who you mentioned is performing so far in this game. He has the help of Apex, and, well, they're not actually going to be tested. They dropped the smoke, and that seems to have prompted VP to, at least for the moment, reconsider that commitment that they were going for. It looks like it will still be the B hit in the end, but they had to wait this smoke out. They didn't want to be too predictable with it either, so they actually have jame. They're back towards middle, making a bit of noise, and trying to fake out that they are actually pushing in. qikert made some nice dropping down right there, though. Where's the commitment going to come? I would imagine still B, since the bomb hasn't actually left, but it's not really doing much in terms of actually pulling rotations away. Nivera is still in the arch, so he can make his way back over pretty quickly. They still even have nades here. And now there's only 12 seconds left, Mike. 12 seconds.
Yeah, they've lost this round. They've lost this round to the clock. They've dilly-dallied a little bit too long. 6 seconds. They can't do this. They can't do this. Better not die after turn. That's pretty much the only way you can bleed out your clock in OT. And it's just going to be SANJI left to save. So Virtus.pro, missed opportunity. Don't know quite what was doing there. I think they were hoping for some aggression down mid that they could perhaps punish. I think they were hoping to have, I don't know, divine inspiration from somebody come in. Rain, again, just such a consistent player here in overtimes. Always shows up in OT. He's the guardian angel of it. Yeah. But I don't know what signal Virtus.pro were looking for. We see this happen to them sometimes. We're late in the round where they've got a disadvantage. Their tendency is to save and to try not to commit in unless they're given an inroad. But it's OT. You got to just try. You got to go for it.
Yeah,
Utility exchange towards Banana.
Slowly.
That's true. There were
Still,
so many. Because the thing is,
enough pressure on to run those nades down even.
They got the first kills with a single op shot and 1 nade, right? Isn't that what came through? Maybe 2 nades?
Yeah.
It's so you've got so much utility left, and they haven't felt presence the entire round, so they don't throw it. It's nicely done from Vitality. This time, qikert gonna punish ZywOo. Looking for that banana peek. He will get his head ripped from his shoulders, and Apex goes down as well. So now that's B wide open. There's no one even in rotation space. Everyone was towards the lane side. They can't even swing from arch. They can't even get a guy to watch the cross. They don't even need to smoke this. They don't know that, of course, so they will smoke it. But that's the side loss. Now they're going to get aggressive down mid to try and answer it. Jame with a Tech 9 up tight by the bench. He takes 1, sets up SANJI for the second. It's all onto RPK, and they know his position, so they'll just leave him. It's like, okay, fine. You can kill Jame. Try for more. Try for more. Good luck. Gonna try for this banana fight. SANJI's just waiting with utility. There's 2 players to watch it. They know he's coming this way now. The bomb is down. 3 players can fight him. Bit risky the way the smoke's set up, but he's going to be the swing. And yeah, there was no way he was getting through that round. There was no way he was getting it. There was just no opportunity for RPK. So it's another map point here for VP. They just need 1 more. 1 more round. And it has to be this next one. It has to be this next one, Dean.
Yeah, it's another overtime they're fighting for at this point. Vitality, they've been down a lot. So far, they've been able to keep it going despite that, but It's not a position you want to be continuing to test yourself in, rather, because it seems like eventually VP may just be able to put a stop to it. It could be this round. As you said, great entries in that previous one, managing to catch the players who were peeking in a bit more aggressively. We're seeing Vitality not really getting as aggro in this round, though. They want to be more cautious, obviously realizing quite how much is on the line. Oh, that nade being held, I believe, on Banana should do good damage. Not as much as I thought, but yeah, weakens Kikert up a little bit, at least in response to giving up Banana control. But as you said, look at the stack they have going on at the moment around quad. This may not be expected. I think it's one under quad, one then up close on the boost, and a third player even who's rocking that up around the quad side, also watching Boiler. So this is not going to be expected, surely, as VP move in towards middle, or if they do, rather. Especially if it's only with these two players, they'll just be demolished.
I guess the idea of this setup is that Nivera takes the first peek, and then off of his shot, they try and chase to punish the AWP, and then the other two players swing to get the damage. It's a really nice setup. The problem is, if they get smoked and Nivera goes down, then there's an inroad in towards Arch, and they can't rotate quickly. So at this point, jame is holding the rotation, and because it's the off, they're not willing to settle off of it. The hit's going to come through in towards B. ZywOo misses a shot. He can't afford. How are they both alive here in the site? They are for the moment. There comes the kill. But they bought a little bit of time. The rotation can't be on. ZywOo just wants to stay alive. This bomb's going to go down. He cannot die here, and he hasn't yet. Finds one, looking for more. That one's going to be a bridge too far, but it's a 3-on-3 retake. All the players are coming from the same side of the map, though. No concern about Banana. It's going to be this hit. Do or die. YEKINDAR, first point of contact. He does not find it, and his teammate will die with a nade out. A little bit of a mistake here. Buster's going to play the long game. Buster's going to find one, and the second, and Buster secures it. A 1v2. The map claimed. 19-17. We'll take a break and be right